To the men, you need to keep growing. You need to keep growing and understand the value of your wife, because they say happy wife, happy life, right? And we understand that that energy that our wives bring us is what keeps us so happy and so content at the end of the day. Assalamu alaikum, my name is Naveed Husain. I am a divorce attorney in Chicago. I was actually born and raised in Chicago. And so I'm the partner at Farooqi Husain LLC. We're based in Oak Brook, Illinois. And our primary area is family law. And family law really means divorce. And unfortunately, I've done, I think up to now in the last 10 years, about 1,000 divorces in the Muslim community. And so I believe that I bring a lot of insight, a lot of experience as to what type of issues the Muslim community is facing and why we're getting divorced, and what maybe we can do to, inshallah, lower our divorce rate. And so today I'm very excited to join Muzz to talk about divorce in the Muslim community, but more so to help us prepare for marriage so that hopefully we can avoid divorce. And if we do end up divorcing, to divorce better. Prenup, especially here in the States, you need three things, right? You need to have full financial disclosure, meaning both sides have to disclose their property and their assets and their income and their debts. The second thing is that you have to have representation on both sides. Both sides have to have a lawyer. They both have to understand what they're getting into. And third and finally is to have that signed well in advance of the marriage. The problem that we have in our community is that on the day of the nikah, you have this one-page piece of paper that says, I married this person for $10,000 mahr. And now we think that that one-page piece of paper is going to protect us in the state courts. It's not, because that doesn't qualify as a prenuptial agreement, right? So I would tell our community, get married under the state, take advantage of the insurance laws, of the inheritance laws, of the tax protections and all of that. But if you want Islam to be, part and parcel of your marriage, combine that with a prenuptial agreement. Islam actually is the inventor of prenuptial agreements, right? Because we have this contract theory of marriage, whereas the West has a unity theory of marriage, right? Unity theory in the sense that once you're married, you're considered one person. That's why the wife takes on the man's last name. Islam, the wife doesn't have to take your name. It's a contract, it's an agreement. And so that prenuptial agreement is part and parcel of our deen, number one. Number two is that, in the early stages, it might not be very romantic to bring up a prenuptial agreement, but coupled with premarital education, coupled with premarital counseling, where they're telling you the importance of a prenup, now a third party is telling the husband or the wife the importance of these contracts. So I think that's point number two. And point number three is, I think maybe Muzz and other modern platforms can share the importance that if you want your marriage to be controlled by Islamic law, the only way it's going to happen in the West is through a prenuptial agreement. Given my experience over the last 10 years of a divorce attorney, my primary tip for those who are engaged, who are looking to get married, is to go through premarital counseling, to go through premarital education. We have to get a license to drive. We have to go through driver's education. We go through school for 4 years, 10 years to become a doctor or to become a lawyer before we're even allowed to, go and fight in front of a judge or to, cut somebody open. But marriage is the most important thing. And we have to spend at least 8 to 16 hours on premarital education. In Malaysia, for example, they won't let Muslims get married unless they've gone through a 16-hour course. So our imams, our communities have to make this a priority before we let the next generation get married. Put them through premarital counseling, put them through premarital education, and I'm talking to the parents as well, that protect your children through this educational process, train them to be good husbands and to be good wives. So I want to talk to the men for a second and talk about divorce, right? Why are women 75% of the time filing for divorce, right? And it actually jumps to above 80% when they are educated. Why is that? It's because many men these days don't have a growth mindset. The same amount of money that they were making at the beginning of the marriage, 10 years later, is the same thing, right? Maybe they're growing in weight. Maybe they're not healthy. Maybe they're unmotivated. Maybe they come home, they sit on the couch and they expect their spouse to do all the work for them. They're not interacting with the children. They're not, being the man that they're supposed to be. And so what I would tell most men is that if you want to live a happy married life, if you want to avoid divorce, you have to have a growth mentality. Growth in your fitness, growth in your Islam, growth in your career, growth in your relationships. Learn how to talk, learn how to express yourself, learn how to deal with problems, right? Obviously, a lot of us came from, parents from a different generation, from a different culture, but that is not going to work here, right? That same mentality and that same way to resolve problems is just not going to work. And so to the men, you need to keep growing. You need to keep growing and understand the value of your wife, because they say happy wife, happy life, right? And we understand that that energy that our wives bring us is what keeps us so happy and so content at the end of the day. For a second, I want to talk to the sisters as well, right? So to the sisters, Alhamdulillah, we are progressing, we're becoming more educated, we're becoming CEOs, and it's a beautiful thing, right? And we have this backwards mentality that the wife is just supposed to stay at home. No, that's not what our deen teaches us. Our deen teaches us that we're supposed to go out, we're supposed to do whatever is necessary for our families, right? The women Sahaba, they would go out and they would help their husbands in trade and in the farms and whatever else they had to do, right? And so for some reason, I think that men have this kind of self-esteem complex that as soon as their wife starts making some money, they start getting some titles, they start getting some notoriety, that they are now, they lose their self-esteem and they feel intimidated. But that's more of a reflection on you rather than your wife. Right? Because if you don't have that growth mentality and you're stuck where you are and now your wife is surpassing you, obviously you're going to feel salty, right? And what I would tell the women is that understand that what a man wants is respect. So even if you are making more money, even if you are growing up that corporate ladder, to still maintain that respect for that husband, because that's what they want at the end of the day, right? Maybe a wife wants attention, they want love, they want appreciation, but really what a man wants is respect. And so if you are undermining your husband now, even if he makes less money, or even if he's not there, he's going to shut down. He's going to go into his cave. Muzz is connecting people through their values. We all believe in Islam, we believe in one God, but there's more to that, right? Just because you believe in those 2-3 things doesn't mean that you're going to be compatible. There's more to it. And so Muzz and these modern platforms are sharing with you right off the bat, what are their values? Are they going to be praying, for example? Are they practicing smoking, drinking? Whatever your values might be, or they may not be, these apps are making it easy for you to not waste your time with somebody without checking the boxes that you want to make sure are checked.